Hey guys, it's about 3:30 in the morning. Isn't that cool? Let's see if I can zoom in. It's almost like an ice moss. It was real foggy earlier on the way home. And it's done some really cool stuff to the trees, so yeah, if you ever want to do like an ice scene, do moss but paint it up in shades of gray. That'll make a really slick looking ice table. But I thought you guys might like that. I was thinking when I was heading home from, let's get the zoom back out. I was thinking about this particular set when I was at work. I called my wife on lunch break, and she lets me know what people were saying on the comments and whatnot, and that kind of formulates kind of my next plan of attack when I'm doing, when I'm planning on doing stuff. And somebody said that they actually were making drop pods for the Tyranids. I was actually planning on this being like a big ultra plant kind of thing, but when they mentioned drop pod, it really clicked with me in particular, and I can easily see this working as that, but I've never seen a drop pod. So if one of you guys could, if you guys could find me a link on the web and PM me the link, I'd really like to see what these things look like. And so while I was at work, I started thinking more and more about, different variations on things, and most importantly, different sizes. That's a 2-liter bottle right there for like a big nasty drop pod. For some of the really big nasties they've got coming out in White Dwarf. And then this is like a 1-liter, and I think this is the 20 ouncer, and the 20 ouncer was the one that I used to make the drop pod slash plant slash whatever it is you want to call it. But so if I can sneak away a little bit of time tomorrow from all the stuff that I'm doing, I'm planning on making a bunch of different Tyranid drop pods just for the sheer fun of it. And while I was at work, I wrote up some rules because I had an idea. Pardon me, guys, you're going to be flying around my house. But I wrote down some rules, and I've got a special request to throw out. Oh, pardon me. To throw out to the community on this idea here. And what the idea is with these drop pods. I was thinking what would be a really cool scenario to run, and I absolutely hate really similar size fights where like both sides are the same point value and there's there's just a generic reason why they're fighting. I find it far more interesting when battles are situational, because if you look around historically, most battles weren't quote-unquote points fair. The way commanders were able to make the fight quote-unquote more fair was to choose say more defensible grounds, a more opportune time to attack, etc., etc., etc. And these are the types of battles that interest me the most. And everybody knows I don't play 40K, but I've been reading White Dwarf forever. I've been reading battle reports forever. So I got an idea with these drop pods of a scenario if I could find 2 gamers out there, one of them having 3,000 points Imperial Guard and one having 2,000 points Tyranids. And this is my idea. My idea is running a scenario based on just using the pods, where the Tyranid player has to bring in all of his troops by pod, and like the Imperial Guard player controls like the outside foot. I think your standard gaming table is 4x6, so he would control like the outside foot for his setup. In the inside area, the Tyranid player would have to place his markers for where he wants his pods to land. And the kind of the storyline behind it is Tyranids always seem to drop spores, which create these crazy jungles, which gives them wonderful defensive positioning, and that's where they usually come down in, and then once they become organized, that's when they break out of the jungles and start doing their attacks on everybody. And the premise behind this scenario is that one of the ships, one of the Tyranid living ships, was being blown apart while it was discharging its pods of troops, and instead of those troops being fired down in the middle of the jungles where they could set up in safety, the ship kind of keeled to the side and they were fired down into the middle of nowhere. There's no terrain, no defensive terrain they can use to their advantage at all, except for the pods themselves. And the Imperial Guard see this as an opportunity to wipe them out. And so the goal of the Imperial Guard is to set up their 3,000 points worth of forces within 1 foot of all of 4 edges. The Tyranids have nothing down, and their pods will be crashing down onto the table, and it's the Tyranids' force's job to kill off half the Imperial Guard, while it's the Imperial Guard's job to kill off all of the Tyranids. And you know, I'm not sure where it would like, if it would be like a draw if there was like 1,500 exactly, but if there's like less than 1,500 Imperial Guard left, it would be considered a win for the Tyranids, because the Imperial Guards should be putting up defensive positioning around cities, and if they lose too many troops, they won't have enough troops to set up defensive positions for when the Tyranids start coming out of the jungles in force. So they've got to be able to keep at least half of their numbers. The Tyranids' job is, they see this force as a lost cause, so what they're going to do is try and wipe out as many Imperial Guard as they can possibly do so. So the Tyranids usually hide behind terrain to get close, but the fact of the matter is they're going to already be landing close, so it kind of balances out, because they won't really have terrain to hide behind, but they'll also be twice as close as they normally are. So I figure these should kind of cancel out the differences, and in my rough estimate, it should be a fair fight. I'd love some input from you guys. If I get a bunch of Imperial Guard players, you know, bitching that it's too hard, and I get a bunch of Tyranid players bitching that it's too hard, that tells me that it's probably a pretty balanced scenario. But if one side or the other seems to say, oh yeah, that sounds pretty fair, then I probably called it wrong. So, but anyways, this is strictly an idea, guys. It's something fun to do over an afternoon. Gives you a reason to take out all those, you know, 1 liter, 2 liter, 20-ounce bottles. Get out your glue gun and get out your heating tools, and just have some fun, you know, and crash them down onto your table. Put your troops out and proceed to blaze away, or slice away, or whatever it is you guys, whichever you guys do best at. So, anyways, this is kind of just where my head was at over this this half day, you know, 10, 11 hour workday. So, hope you guys have fun. If anybody does run this scenario, let me know. I'll create a link, and people will be able to see your battle reports. They'll be able to see your customized, pods, and I think it'd be a really neat way to get the community kind of engaged. I'm going to try and do something every month. White Dwarf seems to have a new army that comes out every month. So I'm going to try and do something every month for each army that comes out. And hopefully I can get you guys motivated. So that's where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll be busy building tomorrow. So love you guys. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.